So last night, whilst I was sleeping over the pond, major news broke over the world that Mr. Kevin Feige is going to save the dying franchise that is Star Wars. Yes, I know you guys are going to be like, it's not dying. Well, it is really. If they're bringing Kevin Feige in, the person behind the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it looks like we are getting Star Wars Phase 1 Kevin Feige with Brie Larson to star in the new Star Wars. Post the new Star Wars come out at the end of this year, Kevin Feige will be producing a new Star Wars movie, which is insane. So let's break down all this latest news. So if you are new to the channel or the website, make sure to subscribe to the blog to never miss any of the latest blogs on this website or in this video. So what is good, YouTube? Warstu here. So at the 100,000 subscriber mark, not at Christmas, whenever we hit 100,000 subscribers, I will be giving away PS4 Pro with Spider-Man PS4 Game of the Year Edition. And if it takes that long, PS5 instead, or an Xbox One X with Gears of War 5. So this is really interesting information. So Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy is pursuing a new era in the Star Wars storytelling, and knowing what a die-hard fan Kevin Feige is, it made sense that these two extraordinary producers to work on Star Wars films together. Walt Disney Studio Chairman Alan Horn tells The Hollywood Reporter. So damn, Kevin Feige is that busy with the Fantastic Four, with the X-Men, with Deadpool, that he can't possibly work on Spider-Man because he's working on Star Wars. Now, this would make a lot of sense. Now, I know a lot of people have seen the memes on Twitter. Oh, so the Spider-Man story is fake because he's working on Star Wars. No, it's not fake. Probably he's busy because he is working on that, but he's also producing a new Star Wars movie. Of course, this does not mean he's directing it. So we could get a case where the Russo bros are going to be directing a Star Wars movie. Please, God, please, no. Do not bring them to the Star Wars franchise. So you guys know I'm quite vocal. I speak my opinion. I really think the Star Wars franchise is dying and Kevin Feige can potentially save it. So this is an article from the HollywoodReporter.com. Feige had a discussion into the Star Wars universe in a late summer meeting with Kennedy and studio co-chairman Alan Horn. Sources say, in response to a query from THR, Walt Disney co-chairman and creative officer, Horn said, "We are excited about the project with Kathy and Lucasfilm's teams are working on, not only in terms of Star Wars, but also Indiana Jones and reaching into other parts of the company, including Children of the Blood with Emma Watts and Fox. With the close of the Star Wars saga, Kathy is pursuing a new era in storytelling. Knowing what a die-hard fan Kevin Feige is, it only made sense for these two to work together. Some see the movie as a prelude to a larger role for Feige within Lucasfilms. Yes, so do I. I believe this is Phase 1, Kevin Feige, with Brie Larson being the new main attraction with the Star Wars world. I know you guys are going to get triggered. A top Disney source says Kathy remains in charge with no plans for any changes. One knowledgeable source says Feige has told a major actor there is a specific role he would like that person to play if and when he makes the movie. You know who it is, guys. You know who it is. It is Brie Larson. She is coming to the Star Wars universe. You know, I'm a big advocate of Brie Larson, such a big fan. So it's interesting how there's rumors that Brie Larson is done with the Captain Marvel role, and then this. If this quotation is right, that is on about Brie Larson. However, the Star Wars The Rise of the Skywalker set to hit the theaters December the 20th. It is understandable that Disney would like to keep as much information about the future franchise under wraps as possible. Skywalker, otherwise known as Episode IX, is meant to be the final installment of the series that was first launched by George Lucas back in 1977. It's also meant to win back fans after the last sequel trilogy entry, Star Wars The Last Jedi, divided audiences, even though reviews were largely positive and the film grossed $1.3 billion worldwide. So essentially, why I say the Star Wars franchise is dying is because Star Wars is not that popular anymore. Even the new Galaxy Edge huge ride they've made for the Star Wars in, I think it's the LA Disneyland, it ain't doing very well, guys. So it seems that Mr. Kevin Feige has somehow been persuaded to come over and change the era. Under Feige's leadership, Marvel has an extraordinary run, including 4 of the top 10 movies released this summer. The Avengers Endgame grossed $2.9 billion, surpassing Avatar to become the highest grossing of all time, not adjusted to inflation, because if it was adjusted to inflation, then Gone with the Wind would be. Feige has picked up a slate of Marvel movies. Yeah, it's just going over stuff. So essentially what it's saying is that Kevin Feige is going to change the franchise. It does not confirm that it will be Kevin Feige Phase 1. But what is interesting is if you go down, it says one potential trouble sign for Lucasfilm and Disney is the alleged disappointment attendance at the new Star Wars attraction. It's in Orlando. During a recent earnings call, Bob Iger said, Star Wars Galaxy Edge was still high and long term. We have no concerns whatsoever. On Wednesday, Disney unveiled a new leadership structure for the Disneyland Resort and Walt Disney Resort parks in Orlando. Disney has been criticized for its lack of women in top roles of the company, so any move to displace Kennedy may create perception problems. In his Times interview, Iger acknowledged that women and people of color were not well represented, but said, I'll change that before I leave. I mean, they don't really need to force any agenda changes, do they? So this is interesting. So essentially, Kevin Feige is getting a movie. He's going to be co-producing it. But I honestly think there is enough evidence out there to suggest that Brie Larson is joining the Star Wars universe, and it would bring a lot of new fans into Let's Go over the alleged evidence. So outside of Larson has been pretty outspoken about her love for the Star Wars universe, something a few people within the Star Wars universe have seen firsthand. The Oscar award-winning actress' love for Star Wars came to fruition in a pretty much enduring during the Captain Marvel movie, when her co-star and frequent collaborator Samuel Jackson brought his Menace lightsaber to set. I got to hold his lightsaber, said Larson, explaining in an interview earlier this year. He brought it to me on set. On May the 4th, I cried. It was so cool. I want to be a Jedi. In recent months, now this is the evidence that could suggest she is already part of the universe without actually making any public noise. Larson was spotted at the grand opening of the Star Wars Galaxy Edge theme park and showcased her Jedi-ness readiness in a photo during her time there. Now, I know what you're going to say. She works for Disney, but she works for Marvel, right? She's not working for Disney, she's working for Marvel. So, if anything, the only argument against Larson's potentially being in Feige's Star Wars movie is it could undershadow her performance, it could undershadow her presence in the MCU. But realistically, guys, she doesn't have to be in every single movie. So I believe there is enough evidence to suggest that Brie Larson is going to be the face of Star Wars going forward. And this will trigger a lot of community channels. This would trigger a lot of commentary channels to go, Brie Larson to destroy Star Wars. Let's be honest, Disney has already destroyed Star Wars, in my opinion. If you go back to the earlier Star Wars movies, back when they originally made, before Star Wars was bought out, before Lucasfilms was bought out by Disney, the movies back then were a lot better. So I believe that under Kevin Feige's leadership, he is building a new phase of Marvel movies, and he's also building a new phase of Star Wars movies. Let's just hope that the Russo bros aren't involved. But Warstu, they made Infinity War, they made Endgame, they didn't write the scripts. I'm not the biggest fan of the Russo bros, so let's just hope it's Kevin Feige. Keep the Russo bros away for as long as possible, because realistically, guys, I'm still a bit disappointed with how Endgame ended. It should have been a lot better than it was. Infinity War shouldn't have been better than the conclusion of 10 years of cinematic history, but you can't put all the blame on the Russo bros, can you guys? No, because obviously they didn't write the script. They were not the script writers. But obviously, we are still annoyed about that. So guys, let me know about this breaking news that Brie Larson is to headline not only the MCU, she's also going to be headlining Star Wars. Can Kevin Feige save Star Wars? You don't know. Maybe Disney's had a word with Kevin Feige. It's like, Kevin, we need you to save Star Wars like you did with Marvel, like you turned Marvel around, like you turned Marvel into the billion-dollar franchise it is. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens later this this year, maybe early next year, once the latest movie is out, because they can't really start talking about things too in depth, because that would take away from the latest Disney movie that will be coming out at the end of the year for Star Wars. But I can't wait to find out what Kevin Feige is going to do. Is he going to bring my girl Brie Larson in? I mean, you just got to look at that phase, that line where it says he's got a specific role for a specific actor. There's a specific role he would like that person to play if and when he makes the movie. That is clearly Brie Larson. Okay, yes, it's not 100% confirmed, verified, but I'm pretty sure he is talking about my girl Brie Larson. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment. I will catch you in another video very soon. Catch ya later.